All right, everybody. It's the Arty 84 show live here, episode 205. We were on last week, right? Yeah, we were here last week.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it was just
no,
me and
we
you.
were. Yeah, we were. Yeah,
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
That's right.
We weren't on the day before Thanksgiving because we were both of us were not in any shape or form to be performing on the thing on the internet. So, So I hope you guys all had a good week. We had a good week. It's kind of been a I don't know, lackluster.
What is
week.
that? No, oh, that's your microphone.
That's my
Sounds like someone being choked to death.
I gotta literally, yeah, it's terrible. I gotta WD for these.
Telling you, man, Amazon, you can get a good deal on some mics.
Well, I'm not gonna invest anything until I get the new studio built. Then we'll figure it out.
There.
We may be canceled by then.
So,
yeah. Who knows? Yeah,
Who knows?
We have a guest tonight. He'll be joining us a little bit later.
Yes,
probably 10 minutes from now.
Yeah.
Chanel Omari will be joining us in about 10 past 8. And we'll be digging into what she's got going on here on the show.
Yeah, some comedy stuff. And she was a Princess of Long Island on Bravo several years ago. And
it's funny because I'm the Princess of Revere. So we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Oh, you mean Prince?
No, Princess.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, boy. So what has changed in the last week since we've talked? Well, the Red Sox aren't playing. They're in strike.
Yeah, they're on strike.
The other 29 teams.
Jesse Smollett.
I did not know he was in the Mighty Ducks until I Googled his name the other day. And then his IMDb popped up and I seen Mighty Ducks. And I go, what? And I thought it was like, and then I realized he's the kid on the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
And what did so? Have you been following the case at much?
I have not. You've actually been the person kind of filling me in as things.
Yeah. So it doesn't look very good for him. I mean, I think it's pretty much cut and dry that he faked and made the whole thing up. And then the two guys who he hired, pretty much sold him down the river. But it was very interesting today that when they put Jesse on the stand for cross examination, he said that he had a sexual relationship with one of the guys, and he was just very mad, and that's why he's lying, because they were performing mutual masturbation on each other. This is what they said. I'm not making this up.
Oh God!
But forget Jesse Smollett, whatever. I really want to know about Gisine Maxwell. Why haven't we been? Well, I know why that case hasn't been on TV, but don't you think that's the case that should be on TV with a lot of high level, celebrities and political figures who are involved in this shit?
Well, Steve, here's the reason why that's not is because, let's face it, Hollywood kind of doesn't want because we all knew he was the tip of the iceberg.
That's right.
Right. And by putting her in the news too, that might bring other things to life in the entertainment industry. Exactly. And so this is going to be, it's going to be trying to be kept,
Isn't that kind of bullshit when you think about it? They had this poor kid in fucking Wisconsin out on the stands, for the whole world to tear him apart. And then you have someone who literally has connections with high level political and Hollywood figures who were diddling young girls and going to pedophile islands and all this fucked up shit, and no one gets to watch that on TV.
The thing is, though, if they're going to try to cover it up like that and then just kind of not go in, try to not push that, it doesn't matter, because in the end, it will come out.
It will.
It will, and then it'll blow up because the media won't be able to ignore it.
Yeah. So it's downhill, and it's just a matter of it. Yeah. It will all come out eventually. Because even look like Kevin Spacey, right? How many years was he diddling people? That finally came out. Or Harvey Weinstein,
and he was found innocent. No, Kevin Spacey was found fucking innocent. Remember, in court, because they couldn't produce the phone that the text messages were on. It was bullshit.
Yeah,
and they won. So but it doesn't matter because in the court,
he was a diddler.
Right? It was hilarious how that backfired, and everyone forgets that.
I told you my Kevin Spacey story, right? So back in 2006, I was doing a college movie. It's for some girl that went to Boston College, and after we were filming the short, you've seen the movie. I think I showed it to you before. I played a stoner at a news station or whatever like that. And I had a white shirt on or whatever.
Yes.
So after we were done shooting, we were all just shooting the shit, chilling and stuff. And she was talking about how her internship was at some studio in Hollywood, and she was like a assistant to like Kevin Spacey, and how he was gay, but it was he had such good publicists. It was always kept under the carpet that no one really knew about. And this is like what 10 years before all this shit goes out. And I always thought, like, oh, shit. And then you think about it, I'm like, maybe he is. And then all of a sudden, he's diddling a son of a newscaster here in the Boston area, and gets all over the news. And
I knew somebody who knew. I hate doing this. I knew somebody who knew his assistant to the second degree.
Okay.
And they said, and again, like you, this was like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
They said, oh God, he's really gay.
Yeah.
And I didn't think anything of it because I kind of roll my eyes every time
like, you never know.
But I guess it was, it's true. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I think every rumor has a little bit of truth somewhat to it.
Yes.
I just won $187 from my wife.
How'd you pull that off?
Well, we made a bet, and oh God, she had showed me a pocketbook she wanted for Christmas, and I said I already bought you a gift. But then we made a bet on. Oh my God, the fuck! It literally was 20 minutes ago. I was correct.
That's bad. 20 minutes ago, you forget it. That's not good, man.
I'm drinking since I got home though, so that's probably not a good thing either.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Whatever it was,
she
Googled it, and I was correct. It was. Oh, this is gonna drive me fucking crazy now.
20 minutes ago, buddy. God, that's horrible, man. I'm not even capable of that. 20 minutes ago.
Oh,
all right. Purse, Christmas gift. One bet. You got
this. Text her.
No, you can figure it out.
Nope, I'm not gonna be able to figure it out.
Oh, that's bad, man. Oh. So you
want
that?
But
she owes money from your wife.
She owes $187 because I was right.
Well, she's smart because you have another kid on the way. So really, where does that money go?
Well, she asked me if it was a fact or an Arty fact, and I go, "You tell me if it's a fact or an Arty fact." It was a good enough morsel of information that you could see and be like, "Ooh, I'm not quite sure." I just text her, so I'll get the information from her. But but other than that, Patriots are in first place. That's always a good thing.
They are in first. They are. Although that could change. I mean, the Bills they're being little bitches right now, but the problem is it still could change due to the invention of the forward pass, which we'll see when they come to Foxborough.
Well, this is another fucking terrible weather day, like it was last Monday.
Hilarious.
Where a punt going into the wind went 13 yards, but a punt going against the wind. Oh, that's right. It was 75 yards. Okay, I made a bet for her. She wanted the bag she showed me was a Kate Spade bag. Okay, who killed herself? And I go, Kate Spade, sister-in-law of comedian David Spade, and she didn't believe me. I go, no. I go, Kate Spade's married to David Spade's brother, or was before she killed herself. And she's like, no, that's not true. I don't believe you. And I go, how much is that bag? And she says $189. I go, I'll bet you $189 that I'm right. And guess what? I was right. I go, how would you get the last name Spade? Come on, think about it.
I mean,
it could be
I know.
That's a good one, right?
I mean, that's a good Arty fact. Yeah.
Great Arty fact.
She believed that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty bad. Oh man.
I'm right. But on that note, we should bring in our guest who
Andy Spade is the older brother of David Spade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Married to Kate Spade, the late Kate Spade.
It's true.
The bag.
Oh, it is true. It wasn't an Arty fact.
Yeah, it was a fact.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you said it was an Arty fact. No.
I lie 9 out of 10 times. And that one time I don't lie.
Well, you see, you and I have different philosophies on the lying thing. You lie because you think it's funny. I don't lie a lot because I don't want to end up in a boy who cried wolf situation where I need people to believe me and they won't because they think I'm full of shit. And then you can't blame those people for getting mad at you when you say, no, I'm telling the truth because you constantly lie. So if they don't believe you can't get mad. And when I do cash in my lie card, people are automatically going to believe me.
That's true. I like to do it so I can win bets. So people always think I'm bullshit. And so then one of these days I finally will put some money on the line, and then they do because they're so certain that I'm going to be telling a lie.
See, I'm building credit for that one grand lie. Like that's not my kid.
You are not the father.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, so
like, oh shit.
That is.
Fucking A. All right.
All right.
Should we bring our guest then?
Let's do this. So she's a stand-up comedian who's performed all over the clubs in New York City, and she's the radio and podcast host of Chanel in the City, popular comedy channel podcast on iHeartRadio, and she's opened up for Cedric the Entertainer and has been seen on Bravo TV. Please welcome Chanel Omari. Chanel.
Ooh, let's see how good your time was. I thought you were gonna hit.
I know, right? That would have been great if I hit that off perfectly.
There she is.
Chanel.
Hey guys, what's up?
How you doing?
I was trying to time your intro with the lag. I thought the minute I went off, you pop right in, but it's just you can never nail it perfectly. No,
it's okay. You can never nail it. Just stand-up comedian will be just fine.
That's all right.
Oh, there you go.
So how are you today?
There you go. What'd you say?
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm actually I just came off doing a lot of shows last night, so I look a little rugged down because I like to say it's like a comedy hangover because I look like crap because I've been out till 3 a.m. But you know, it's the lifestyle.
Yep.
Hey, I'm Adam, by the way. That's Arty. That's
nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Sorry, it's been like a while that we had to,
No worries.
We need a good space so that we can chat.
That's right. Now we got chilled. No, do you have any shows going on tonight, or you?
Yeah, I just did the Grizzly Pear. I don't know if you guys have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I don't know much.
Sounds familiar. New York City, right? Or you did like an online show?
Wait, which show? Sorry, say that again.
Was it a stand-up show or was it like a podcast show?
No, it was a stand-up comedy show. It's like a huge club in New York City. Basically, all the comics, it's like a dream come true to like perform there because like a lot of tourists come through and a lot of big comics play there. But the reality show I did which is part of my stand-up, is called Princesses of Long Island on Bravo TV.
Oh yeah, you have to put that in there, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to. I mean,
you got to plug that in. I mean, I try to forget that show ever fucking happened. Can I curse on here? Excuse my language.
Absolutely.
Of course. Yeah.
I try to forget because it's definitely it was a blessing and a curse. Obviously the title does not do me justice. And people are always judging me based on it, and they're always assuming this life, this princess life that I have. Like I get whatever I want. Meanwhile, I don't, and I have to fight for like tooth or nail for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I was watching one interview, you said it's like basically 20% of the real you. And
yeah,
I do wonder something like that. I've always wondered, this is what I want to ask you too. Does something like that, it is kind of a blessing in disguise because it gives you material to work with, but at the same time, people judge you. Do you feel like in the end, like where that is do you feel like it's hurt you more or helped you more?
That's a great question. It's funny because we were talking about a little bit about it today. I feel like it helped me in some ways, but I also feel like it hurt me because I came from a producing background. I produced for like Maury Povich, Anderson Cooper. So it's like a serious journalist / producer. And obviously everybody in entertainment, anybody who tells you they won't do a reality show would be lying to themselves because it's an opportunity, right? So anybody should take it. I always tell everybody you have to take it, but be smart because you also might not have longevity in it. Like it might last one season like me, which it hurt me in the sense that it was a one season show. People kind of were like, okay, so who's this girl about? What is she about? She's, we don't know if she has any background. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just a one-hit wonder. So that's what kind of hurt me in terms of like, I had to prove myself twice as much in the comedy world, twice as much in the entertainment world. It was really hard to transition, out of it and try to be relevant, right? Because like 15 minutes of fame, you're like so famous, everyone loves you. And then everybody hates your fucking guts. And they're like, who are you?
Yeah, and I'm sure people look at that and like, oh God, like this, they're expecting stereotypical Jewish princess because Long Island and all that stuff, and it's
like this bitch. She thinks her shit don't stink. Meanwhile, I wouldn't wish my life on my worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? But nobody knows.
Yeah, it's true. No, I hear you.
I feel I tried out for a show called Wicked Summer, which was the spin-off version of Jersey Shore for the Boston area.
I love that.
And I made it to the second round, and then they canceled the show because they didn't think it was actually going to go anywhere. Because at the time, it was like the second season of Jersey Shore. So they were just kind of like throwing all their, seeing if it could stick. Now they look back on now, it's been like, 13, 14 years of Jersey Shore that probably would have stuck. But then you had a bunch of Ginzos from North Shore of Boston walking around and yelling stuff. It would have basically been Jersey Shore.
That would have been great to see though, because like I went to school in Boston. So, college, I went to Northeastern.
Okay.
So I was able to experience the culture of Boston, and that would have been funny to see, people in a reality show from Boston. I'm so shocked they haven't, followed that through.
And
that would have been cool.
We all looked like Pauly D at the tryouts. We all were tan. It was, and I went to college right across the street from you. I went to Wentworth. So, so it was around time. I was still in school at the time, and all of us were tan. We all showed up at Faneuil Hall. We were all like ready to go for the tryouts and everything. And it was interesting. And we're like, oh shit, we might actually make the final cut of this and stuff like this. And then like we decided not to go forward with it. We don't think there's enough meat on the bone or something of that nature to get this thing growing or rolling or something like this. I'm like, all right, man. I guess it's kind of too close to New York to kind of be that idea, but
you never know, they might revive it. And also it's interesting you say that, because like reality shows, see, that's what people don't get. Like sometimes the network picks up the pilot, but it doesn't go to series. Sometimes it's like me, where it picks up right away and it doesn't have longevity. So like in showbiz, you never know. Like I have a friend, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chris Distefano. He's a huge stand-up comedian. And he was like, Chanel, I've had 9 pilots. He came on the podcast. He's told me off the record. He's like, I've had 9 pilots and never went on to full-time series. And he's like very talented, so it's never personal, but I think it would, sometimes I do feel like it hurt me, even in comedy, like I still have to get people to respect me and not be like, oh, this reality star, she thinks she could just come in and, get on stage or get stage time, and she thinks she's funny, but she's not, you go through that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
actually get a lot of flack too, but for different reasons. It's because like what happens is women will think I'm Jewish, and I'm not. There's nothing Jewish about. I was.
Oh, you're deceiving.
I'm an infiltrator. I'm like an infiltrator. People think I'm Jewish. There's nothing Jewish ever about me. I was Protestant. I'm Italian and French Canadian. Right? Raised Protestant. Right. Nothing. Right? I have actually had women date me thinking I'm Jewish, and then break up with me when they find out there's nothing Jewish about me. Right? I am. It's evil.
Hey, you're not Jewish? I thought I was getting involved with this podcast. So basically, the Hollywood.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna be like finding my next Jewish husband. What the fuck?
Sorry, I got no money.
It's okay. I love broke men. I love Italian men. I do not love Jewish men. I mean, I love my people, but me and Jewish men, we never worked. Because they really want a princess, and I'm really like a down to earth frog. It's like, hi. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like. I really that's what was so ironic about the show it was that I was so opposite of what a princess was, Are
you in any contact with any of those girls from that show still?
Ooh, no, unfortunately, we were really best friends. So before the show, during the show, after the show, when reality TV hits, it's like your friendship changes. I always tell everyone, whether it's such a strong friendship or not, your friendship is always going to change, because human nature, when money and fame are involved, it's like the devil. And so it tests your friendship over and over again. And I think I will always have love for them. Like, don't get me wrong. We went through so much, and nobody can understand what I went through during that time besides those girls. Mm. And I still, like the other day, a comedian said to me, oh my God, I ran into one of your castmates. She runs she does something big in fitness, and it just made me smile. Like, I'll always have love for her, no matter what happened. Do you know what I'm saying?
Is that really true though? I feel like girls are a little different than guys. I feel like girls have that secret cattiness where it's like, right. Where it's like, it could be like, because girls will be like, yeah, like Sarah, you're my best friend. And then Sarah's a fucking bitch.
One of our former co-hosts was an extra for the movie Grown Ups 2. And then we were back in like 2013. So he would come and do the show, and like, oh, I can't do it tonight. I'm filming. We're late, whatever like that. And then he'd come in. And one day he came in, and he had sunglasses on. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? And he thought he was like Mel Gibson.
He thought he was gonna be hanging out with Adam Sandler that night.
Here we are in some fucking dive studio in downtown Boston that smelled like weed and like garbage, and we're sitting there just talking around. I go, oh, nice for you to join us today. He's like, I've been busy filming. like he was like on set. Like, I mean, yes, you were on set all day for 3 weeks straight because you were filming a big scene. I get it, but like the way he was talking, like he was like, yeah, I might get a line. You know, what? Like, we'll get a line? Like,
He's like, I'm gonna forget about you, Zeus.
Yeah, basically. And then I was just like, what the fuck? So after the show, we're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? He's like, oh yeah, you know, it's a big time. You know, I'm doing Hollywood stuff.
I remember when he showed me, he paused, he was showing me, we were watching Grown Ups 2 at your old place. He's showing me frame by frame where he is.
He jumped over us to grab the remote control. He's like, wait, hold on, I gotta pause this. It was like on TBS. Oh, there I am right there. You can see my shadow right there next to Shaq.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like it changes you. Like, you know, it changes. Like, some of us had an ego, you know, with the reality, with the fame. Some people it gets to your head. You have a lot of ego. You have a lot of competition. I always tried to stay grounded with the girls. I always tried to tell them, like, no matter what, don't let the show get the best of our friendship. No matter what, don't let the fame get the best of our friendship. No matter what, don't let the guys get the best of our friendship. Or anything that any rock star or famous person would go through, any reality star goes through, whether it's one season, 15 minutes of fame, or, you know, like sex seasons. And I would always try to have these conversations with them, and it would always be like, yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. But, you know, everyone's different. And then I realized I can't control everyone. I got to worry about me too. I tried to be the best of friend I could be. I tried. And you're right. There's always catty shit with girls, which is why I love hanging out with guys, because I never fight with my guy friends. Because you know what? A guy will just be honest with you, and he'll never be mean about it. He'll just be like, yo, Chanel, you're crazy. You got to like turn it down a notch. But there won't be like an extended drama, like setup or like vindictive. You know what I'm saying? These
passive aggressive.
That's what was happening a lot. A lot of tweets, passive aggressive. I would think we were over one fight, and then it'd be like, oh no, Chanel is this, or they would talk shit about me on other podcasts, and I'm like, oh shit, I thought we were friends.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
That is fucked
guys usually
for like the drama or the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a sellout. Like, I'll never sell my friends out for fame. If you told me like you'll get $1 million or you'll be the most famous person tomorrow if you sell out one of your friends for fame, that's not my style. You know, that's some people's style.
Some people. Girls are always passive aggressive with the shit they say, like, oh, you really look, it's weird that you look good in that, like, kind of shit like that. Guys, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, like, guys are just saying,
I'm like, this is why guys fucking hate us, because
like, guys would just be like, you're acting like a dick, dude. And like, you know what I mean? Like,
I will say this though, and I've gotten a little bit of flack for this, and you can disagree with me. Most women do. I truly believe that there are exceptions. There are a few exceptions to every rule, but I truly believe guys and girls can't just be friends. And for a couple reasons. And there are exceptions. They said, like, maybe you've known them so long that like they're like a brother or sister to you. We're talking childhood. Yeah. Or you act more like acquaintances, where like you see each other once every couple months or so. But if you see the same person, opposite sex, every single day, sooner or later, one of them is going to feel something for the other, and the other one might not, or maybe they will, but I just think it's human nature. I just agree. I think guys are more likely to be fake to friends to girls because they just secretly want to bang them. Like, I truly believe that, you know, but I would love to be proven wrong. I really would.
That's him. That's what he says to every girl. So he's like, yeah, prove me wrong. You don't want to bang me.
And they're like, you're so smart. And then,
Fight off your urge to bang Jewish guy.
I don't believe girls and guys. Listen, I don't believe they can just be friends. A lot of my ex-boyfriends, actually my ex-boyfriend on the show who broke my heart in front of the whole world. Shout out to him. Sorry for that. But for instance, like, he would always say, let's be friends, Chanel. And the thing with that is, men, you're right. They're kind of more fake about it than girls are. Women will be like, let's be friends. They mean it. They'll try to make an effort. They'll be like, let's go for coffee, but not have sex. So the guy's like, why the fuck do I need this? Then the guy will be like, let's be friends, to try to be the hero, that like hero syndrome at the end where they feel guilty breaking up with you. So they're like, let's be friends, but they never come around. Or when you call them and you need them, they're never there because they're on to their next girl.
Or as a guy, so they usually get to one of your friends.
Or yes, that's happened to me before.
Like, you're putting it in, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we're friends, you know, I don't want to, can you just, you know, what's your friend, you know, Maria doing?
I will say, like, I have several like acquaintances. I don't keep them as friends, but like acquaintances, like once every couple months, maybe grab a drink or just, how you doing? Cool. All right. Bye. How's the family? Cool. Like, they're still like within a reach, but they're not like in my orbit, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Different guy, Adam. Like, I don't know how you do that. Like, you're an odd duck. Because like,
I'm a weirdo.
I couldn't do that.
I have.
Well, I was going to tell you guys
my
that
West Coast
actually
family.
you might be able to help me with this one, because there's a guy in the comedy world. He was like telling me how he has a lot of girls that are friends. And then I thought when he asked me to hang out, it was kind of like a date, but you never know.
Yeah.
So when a guy has a lot of girls that are friends, is that a red flag? If he's trying to tell you, let's just be friends, is that another red flag? If he's trying to give you this signal of like, we're more, like, doesn't that become
constant?
Well,
if it's constant?
I would think that maybe he just isn't into girls if he has a lot of girlfriends.
Yeah, it could be gay. Is he gay? He's not gay, right?
But he's not gay, he says. And I could see the way he looks at women. So it's like, isn't that ironic?
Unless
it could be like a sorry. Go ahead.
No, you say, oh yeah, go ahead.
I would say it could be like a self ego thing. Like, yeah, like I have all these girls around me. Like, I'm the fucking shit.
Right.
You know? Yeah, it builds himself up. You know?
Right, because why keep, like you said, acquaintances, different story. That was my point to that. Acquaintances, fine. Hey, I see you at a movie. Hey, whatever. I know that.
Hey, like maybe catch
but
up
not
on
like I'm hanging out and watching Harry Potter
constantly. Yeah,
you know, constantly, and like I have planned. That's kind of like you're dating, but you don't want to admit you're dating, so you don't have the commitment or the attachment. I would say.
Exactly. Like
that's what I mean. Of like girls and guys can't just be friends. He's like, I have a lot of friends. Trust me, we're just platonic. I'm like, either you like her or she likes you. Stop the bullshit.
Well, there's like a friends of benefits thing that's like they're trying to put into place kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the white knight, when something goes wrong, like she dates a guy, I'll be there, you know, swoop in and, you know, save the day.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Why can't guys just say, I'm dating her, and if I don't like her anymore, I'm breaking up? Why do they have to play it safe and say that they're friends?
That's stupid.
Yeah, I
mean, come on. I mean, we don't.
Chanel, did you not know this? Did nobody teach you?
We're not very intelligent species. We're like, if it wasn't,
it goes both ways.
If it wasn't for women, men wouldn't survive because we'd just be sitting there scratching our asses trying to figure out, you know, what time's the next football game's on. When can I get beer on?
It goes both ways, though. We both damn well know there are women out there too who hold men in their orbit, and they have no interest of ever getting with them, but they tease them a little. They give them a little cookie every once in a while to make him think that maybe he'll get something, but he won't. But he's a sucker, and she's an asshole. So, right? That's kind of how that is.
Like a toxic relationship to me, but hey, to each one's own, right? Whatever you do.
That is so true, you guys. You guys are. You guys are giving some good tips and advice here. This is gold.
It's funny because Adam and I are in our late 30s, and if we could talk to our early 20s self, so I'm sure we'd give ourselves some good advice of what not to do. But
I keep a lot close to the vest. I've known Arty for over 10 years, and I've been through a lot that he doesn't even know in terms of relationships and girls I've been with or whatever. Because here's the thing, like I kind of have like I call it my like a 5-year like statute of limitations. Like I don't talk unless I know that person I will never hear from again. And then after 5 years, if I've never spoken to them, all the gossip about them comes out. Yeah. Like I'll say, oh my God, this girl likes anal. This girl like wasn't like, but prior to I won't say shit. I won't say nothing about that person. Good, bad.
Stay tuned for 5 more years. I'll get the details.
Because keeping quiet, I have learned, has gotten me so much more than me being a blabbermouth. Girls love a guy who, I will say, like the amount of, and this is kind of fucked up. This is kind of why my view on marriage is kind of tainted. The amount of women I have been around or with that were married is massive. I am convinced there is a secret organization of women who conspire to sleep with guys, but maintain a happy marriage. Like they have no interest in dumping their husbands. I was never looking to them to leave before. They're because women are more quiet about that.
There's a girl watching this show right now who's like, fuck Adam's.
No, but it's true. It's called like women because the way society treats women are told that if you do all this, you're a slut. Guys, go ahead, do whatever you want. So they're already programmed to keep quiet. So when they run into somebody who also is quiet, it's like, oh my God, I can do whatever I want with this guy because he's not going to say anything. Right. And you get the holy grail as a guy. You get so much. So keeping quiet in the end is so much more beneficial. As tempting it is to brag to your guy friends, it's not worth it. But every guy does. Most guys do. I will not.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you definitely get 10 sexy points for that. Definitely keeping secrets. We love that. You're right. Girls fucking love that. Yeah, but it also sucks for us when a guy keeps us a secret, you know? So it's like, you're right.
True. It goes I can see that.
Yeah, yes. But I guess if you put that out in the front, in the first thing, and be, hey, listen, this is the situation, and you so if you're not leading the girl on, and you'd be like, hey, lay all the rules out, and I know there's there's emotion that could grow on. But I mean, but for the most part, like if you go, hey, listen, this is the deal. You're married. I'm married. You know, this is the way it's gonna be. And then
Yeah.
you know.
That backfires. I was stalked horribly, like almost 10 years ago. Like we're talking like Lifetime movie stalked. You could have
For real, like she
it was
came to your
bad.
house and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
God.
talking police involved,
Yeah.
possible straight. It was bad, like death threats. We're
Imagine
talking like
you have slept at your doorstep.
yes,
Like
presents,
real
weird
death,
gifts.
like real death threats. Like
I had a photo texted to an ex-girlfriend of mine. He would just this person would troll on Twitter. I don't even know if it was the husband or the wife, right? Actually, right? Sending photos of my outside door to my ex-girlfriend, who I wasn't even with anymore, who was saying like, I'm gonna wait for him and like kill him. And like she I was on good terms with her. She texted me. She's like, listen, this person like texted me this photo of your front door, and I called the police. And then the police came to my apartment, and I'm talking to them. I'm like, holy shit, this is fucked up. And then I remember one time I'm food shopping, and I get a text message that said, you should be thankful for the guardian. I remember it word for word. You should be thankful for the guardian angel that looked over you at 10:54 a.m. while you were food shopping. It's the only thing that prevented me from slitting your throat. And right. And the thing is, it was a burner phone. You can't trace those.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a fucking pussy move right there. I went to the police. They have these records. Maybe one day something really bad will happen and this person will get caught, because the police have a smorgasbord of like, I know who it is, but I have nothing to prove.
Sex that
right?
good to risk you getting your throat slashed. That's
know, right?
Wait, so have you told them I know who it is and they haven't checked it? Like it hasn't checked out that that's that person?
There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
But they're doing death threats. They're saying
there's
like
no proof. There's no proof. It's anybody. You can give names, but there's no reason for them to do anything. There's nothing can happen. There's no proof.
So how do you, this is what I've always wanted to know, because I've kind of been like a dream of mine. I know it sounds sick to have someone that obsessed with you, but is it like, obviously you went through a lot, you know what I mean? Like,
it's
so
fucked.
is it and is it not?
It's funny now, at the time, not, but you know that like I'm like, okay, somebody wants to make a lampshade out of me. All right. Right. And it's funny now in the moment though, because here's the thing, it's affecting other people I know too, people who care about me,
right?
Because I know they're contacting other people somehow through social media. This is why I have no social media other than like my YouTube channel, but I don't use my name really, like, because I'm kind of scarred from all that now, because like someone somehow finding out people who I know and somehow like looking through their stuff to try to track me down. That's a lot of work.
That's traumatizing. I mean, I had something similar happen recently, but they didn't go as far as like doing that death threats, but they could have if I allowed, you know what I mean? I feel like,
oh wow, how far did that go? How far did that go?
Some person, which I still don't know if it was a real guy or a girl, or it could be anybody, some person on Instagram posed as a fan, that they were a fan, but I didn't know where they found me from. They're like, I found you from Instagram, or they made it so shady. Like someone took a photo of me and put it on OnlyFans naked. That's how I felt. Like someone just found me on a porn site, even though I'm not. But you know that feeling when someone's like, I found you, but I'm not going to tell you from where. Usually people are like, oh, I found you from Princesses, or, oh, your stand up, or, oh, you know, whatever. So this guy messages me under some name. And he starts saying, I'm a fan. I work for Victoria's Secret and I want to send you some lingerie. And at first I'm like, okay, wait a minute. This is fucking bizarre. First of all, no man in their life has ever offered to send me lingerie, let alone some random stranger, not even my ex-boyfriends, you know, no matter what it is. So I'm like, okay, this is definitely a fetish. This is very bizarre. Like he's like trying to offer me.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, like who offers someone they don't even know, even if it is a celebrity or whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I was such a, like, you know, I'm a smart girl, but sometimes you're naive. You're running around. You don't realize you're talking to fans. You want them to know you're a real person, which is why I'm in severe therapy of like not having to prove to everyone that you're their friend, because you could get into dangerous situations, like what you know, what Adam went through and what I'm going through, whatever. So he basically also said, he posed again and he texted me. He asked me for my number. Don't ask me why I gave it. I was compelled to give it to him. I gave it to him. He's like, let me send you like bustier bras, which I needed at the time for this outfit, because I was going on Watch What Happens Live. Again, my fault for like thinking this guy is like someone who's gonna help me. Thought maybe he said he's the marketing director. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me trust him. He's like, send me photos of yourself. I'm like,
Chanel,
I'm
I've
like,
told, I've told girls I was a minor league baseball player for the Portland Sea. So
Yeah.
if a guy really puts his mind to it, he really convince himself that he's, something else. So.
from that person, right? And but like it was my fault to not be like, dude, like why would I send him photos of like my outfit? Why would I even let him have my number? Like those are things that people out there, whether you're a celebrity or not, or a public figure or not, you shouldn't really be giving that information because you don't know where you're going to end up.
Yep.
You can literally have a stalker situation, a dangerous situation. So anyway, he basically said to me that it was his uncle's Instagram. He was very shy to like tell me who he really was. So it was like a catfish situation. And then he sent me another photo of another. He basically emailed me from 2 different names, stalked me every day, was like, I'm in love with you. I think you're beautiful. I was like, okay, well, then do you want to take me out on a date? Like, who are you really?
And the catfish guy showed up, right? And he had what his name was over there. He's like, hey, what's up? It's like, you're being catfished right now.
So I just was like, who is this? I didn't know who it was. And they would call me from the same number or private and like breathe and hang up. Then they would say that it was just a very bizarre situation. But I guess because I blocked him so many times, he isn't around. But like, again, that could have been like him calling me or showing up at my house or threatening to kill me if I allowed those messages to come through, is my point.
I gotta think too. It's like so much work. Like hypothetically, I thought like if I wanted to stalk somebody, I don't have that kind of time.
No one has.
I gotta factor in gas money and
sources,
meals.
You know what I mean? It's like you gotta figure out. Like, you gotta know where they are. You gotta take some time.
I know, right?
It's just
gas is getting expensive.
I mean, it is you're right. It's a full. I mean, Arty, have you ever stalked someone or no? Has everyone
I stalk people all the time, but that's besides the point. They're local. They're usually close by. I don't stalk anyone that goes out of my way out of a 10-mile radius of downtown Boston.
Right.
There you go.
Out of no, but like, I mean, I thought about stalking people before, but I never followed through because you have, and they just don't know. Maybe the Tony from the Portland Sea Dogs was stalking them, and they just
Tony Sagittari.
That was saboteur.
That's scary. You never know. That's really scary. I mean, it's flattering, but it's scary. I used to always be like, oh, it'd be so flattering if someone's obsessed with you, but not someone who you don't like.
At some
point. I want to be stalked. I still haven't been stalked yet. My wife doesn't even stalk me, and I'm a little upset about that.
Arty, you want me to one day like turn it on and I'll pretend to stalk you? I'll send you letters for you to wonder.
I just want a picture. I want a picture of me going into the Dunkin' Donuts at 7:30 in Charlestown and be like, I'm watching you right now. And I'd be like,
all right, buddy.
Like, that's what I want. Like, I just want someone to be like, oh, someone's like, cares.
Right.
All right, buddy. You got it. Maybe not today and maybe not tomorrow, but you're going to forget about this conversation sometime between now and 5 years from now. I'm going to do this and I'm going to get a burner phone and I'm going to do all this. I'll make you feel good.
I'm going to be so, I'll probably be like, what the fuck?
By the way, you guys are giving me a lot of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon vibes. Do people tell you guys that?
Sometimes
we get the Boston thing.
We had some girl a few weeks ago who just wanted us to talk. She just sat there and she's like, I'm like borderline orgasmic right now hearing you guys having a conversation. I'm like, Jesus. All right. What else would you like?
You're the Matt Damon and Ben Affleck of podcasting right now.
I'd like his paycheck. That'd
Thank
be nice.
You. Yes. So you do a show for iHeart. Have you
Chanel in the City.
Matt Damon or Ben Affleck at all?
I ran into them before on like the red carpets interviewing them, but they haven't been on the podcast yet. But you know who's been on Chanel in the City, which was a big dream of mine and crazy? Kevin Bacon, who grew up near Boston, but also has just done a movie and a show that takes place in Boston.
I think his wife is from around here.
Yeah, that stars on it, and his wife is from around there. And that was pretty cool. But no, I would love to have Matt Damon and Ben Affleck one day. I'm growing the podcast. Chanel in the City started because after Princesses, I really wasn't getting a lot of opportunities. I was kind of being typecasted. Mm-hmm. And so what would make me feel better, I was like going through a big mental health, depression, anxiety type of thing that a lot of people don't talk about after reality TV. Because you feel like you're used in a way. You feel like you're a puppet and then nobody wants to be around you. And so that could screw with your mental health. And I would go to these restaurants and I was very big and known for nightlife before the show. Like, everyone knew that if they needed to get into a hot club or a hot restaurant, they could go through me. I had a lot of resources and access to nightlife. And so I basically would go to these restaurants and these cool places and get them to give my audience a discount where they can live this lifestyle vicariously through me, but on a budget.
Mhm.
And they can literally, it's like a guide. Like they don't have to go and research anything. I can let them know, hey, these are the 5 places where you're also going to get celebrity spottings, because they were very obsessed, my audience, with celebrities and where do I get to find them? Where do I get to see them? Because I would always see the celebrities. You know, I work with them a lot. And then we also have celebrities on the podcast talking about a lot of Bravo people who have been on Bravo, because I was on Bravo, talking about like how they got to where they got and the obstacles they had to overcome and what they had to do or where they had to work in the city to get to that point. So yeah, we've had like a really, really good run where we have like a lot of big celebrities, Kevin Bacon, Cedric the Entertainer, Luann de Lesseps from Housewives of New York. If you guys love Housewives,
Love the Housewives.
You love the Housewives?
I'm a big Beverly Hills fan. That's my.
Are you?
That's my dirty little secret. I love that.
Oh, so we had Sudden Strack on. You would have loved that.
Yeah, that's my go-to at the end of the night. I'll kind of go through, and if I Beverly Hills or Orange County, those are my 2 favorite right there.
Orange County. We actually have Bronwyn, who was in the last season on Orange County. Bronwyn Wyndham Burke.
Okay.
She's on. She's going to be on the podcast soon to talk about like how she transitioned. You know, she was married with 7 kids, and now she's came out as full lesbian. So that's an interesting interview that's coming out.
How did you get hooked up with iHeart? How did that work out when you were?
So I had a radio show on, which a lot of people don't know, on 106.1 BLI, which was on iHeartRadio. Okay. It was like the Z100 of Long Island, or a popular radio, like any popular radio station.
Was Opie from Opie and Anthony on that back in like the early 90s? Was that his?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Right. And you guys get it in Boston. The station runs Connecticut, Boston, New York, Long Island, but mostly upper. Yeah. Us. And that was on iHeart. And so I would be the night girl. I did. I worked overnights. I started on the overnight. So midnight to like 5 a.m. And then I started getting the 7 to 12 show. Okay. So I was like the main DJ 7 to midnight. I would have my gossip, like pop culture segment, because a lot of the DJs didn't really know how to factor in news. So my boss would let me do that. And I actually also, that's when I started Chanel in the City. So we would give some glimpse of Chanel in the City. And, you know, at the time, this was right before COVID, I remember my boss was like, listen, you know, there's a lot of hierarchy in radio. Terrestrial radio is also like a man's world. It's not much of a woman's world. And he knew I was very ambitious and I wanted to be top New York radio. I wanted to be during the day. Those are the best slots. And he said, look, right now we don't have anything to offer you. You know, you're always welcome back. But if you want to focus on the podcast, we'll let you have your own segment on iHeart. You know, if that's something that you've worked hard, you've earned your dues, but I don't have something to offer you from like a 2 to 6 p.m. slot right now. So that's the thing. I always say I don't quit radio. Like I still freelance for certain radio stations, but to get a full-time gig in radio and be considered like the top voice of New York is going to take time. So that's how was the negotiation. And then he saw that I was bringing a lot of celebrities on my own. I was doing the bookings on my own. I was producing on my own. So he said, look, let's try out a segment. Let's have you have your own show on iHeartRadio. So you're not going to be on one specific station. I'll be on all this, like it'll be on the whole app and run through the stations and then the podcast. And and then it's been growing for 2 years, almost 3 years now.
Awesome. It's pretty cool. Radio, especially in New York, the market's tough as hell. I mean,
it's so tough.
Yeah. I mean, I got into radio in college when I was I started at UMass Lowell because of Howard Stern, because I wanted to be, then Opie and Anthony. Those are like the guys I wanted to be like.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes.
I ran my show for years like that and just try to get like the taste of it. And if the FCC cracking down, everything being so tight, you know, and we were podcasting I was podcasting my shows back in 2006, before when podcasts first, existed, and we were just running them off the server at the college and stuff. And I mean, so we've been going back for, 15 years now, but now all of a sudden, now it's just like it's like the norm. No one really, I like to say, but like terrestrial radio, unless you listen to like live sports or something like that, people just getting the shit on demand now. It's like I want to. Or the more.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Sorry, I was not resented. I regretted at times. I'm like, did I make the right decision? Because radio, you're right. Because we've been so like we progressed so much, and it's all about digital. And I thought to myself, if I go now where podcasts are popular, or where, iHeart is still giving me a chance to be on their platform and I could do whatever I want. Do I take that, or do I still continue with the conglomerate and with the corporate, but then still get my name? Because they're the ones who push your name out there if they want you to win. But it's them picking you versus you picking them, which is, you're right. Podcasting, you get to pick what you want to do.
Exactly. And people get to listen whenever they want it. Whether it's 2:00 in the morning, whether it's on their way to work or while they're at work, you know what I mean? It's like,
right.
And it's weird because like I always dreamt of being like morning guy on Kiss 108 up in Boston,
Yes.
in the morning's joint, and like that was like the goal. And then it's like, well, like, so people only really listen, like Howard Stern said, the average listener listens to 45 minutes, because that's when they're driving in the car. They're not ever tuning back in once they leave. So you're always repeating the stories and stuff. It's a repetitive thing in the morning. And nowadays you could go sit in your office. You could sit there for 8 hours and you could just go through every podcast you have and listen to the entire thing and actually get way more information and be way more entertained than you were if you just listened to an FM or an AM frequency. And it's kind of like disturbing to a point where, like, for us who grew up like listening and admiring radio, like now this is gone. And then the generation after us doesn't even listen to radio anymore. It's kind of like, damn, like I remember that was a big deal. Like to be on the radio was like a huge thing.
I mean, that's like what you're saying. I dreamed to be like the Z100 girl, the KTU girl. And then I see some of my friends doing it who are a little older. So they're from the old school generation. And then they see me kind of like using new school. And I'm like, did I make the right decision? But my dream was also to be my own name, so it's like, what do you sacrifice? What do you choose? What do you give up? What do you go for? What do you continuously go for? Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's where I'm at, where I'm like, I want to do it all. And I think we could all do it all. I think we could figure out a way to do it all,
I agree. I think and actually to be smart is to capitalize and be ahead of the game and be able to do all the different avenues. You know what I mean? Because it's nicer these days because now you could do YouTube, you could do Facebook, you could do audio only, you could do video. I mean, there's 100 different things you can do. And it's the same content. And just now you really broaden your horizon to whatever someone's specific like is, right? Whether they prefer to watch or whether they prefer to listen to it and stuff. And like, it's like the trades, right? Like be electricians or plumbers. They're like the ages are getting older and older and older. No one else is doing the work. And eventually that number's going to disappear and you're going to have no one listening to FM radio anymore, and then they're going to be broadcasting. It's going to be like something out of like a one of those zombie movies. Like there's going to be someone like broadcasting like on an FM frequency and no one's listening to it except for like this one person in a bunker somewhere up in like Maine. And he's like, we're broadcasting. We're still alive. We could still survive and make it. It's like, meanwhile, listen to a podcast that came out 5 years ago. They're like, hey, listen to this guy. He's pretty funny. And then they binge listen, but I don't know. That's the way to do it, I think, these days. So I think you did the smart approach because
thank you.
Everyone I've talked to, I have a buddy who's on radio out in Vegas, and he even says that FM radio is kind of like a dying breed. It's like
it really is.
And they tried doing like the Mike FM type thing where they had like it's your podcast on the radio, and people still don't really buy it because they still I could just listen to my own podcast. Why am I listening to a guy who's picking my podcast for me? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know. The attention span of people these days is so small that you can't. Yeah, it sucks because morning radio and afternoon drive was like the shit. Like that's like that
was what I grew up on. That's like I feel like I still try to like look forward to it. But you're right, with podcasting, it's sometimes there's so much opportunity, options, selection that you lose track. You're like,
There have been so many times I remember driving to college and I'm sitting in the parking lot. I'm intentionally late for class because Howard Stern is doing something on, WBCN, and when we're listening in the morning, he's just hanging us on. I'm like, I'm gonna be late for class, but I don't give a shit. I gotta hear what this guy's gonna say. What the hell is he gonna, you know what I mean? It's like, you're just waiting. But like those days now, you can just go and listen to it later on. You just log online and be like, I'll just catch it later. It's like, but I don't know, radio. Like you appreciate the art of radio. I love radio. I think that's like,
love radio. Yeah,
it's a great thing. It's unfortunately, unless something happens, unless there's a new technology that comes out or whatever, but I think it's a dying, dying.
You guys think it's going to be around as popular even with music? Like, because it's
AM radio will always be around because people still like to get their news. I think it's going to be like, for example, I only watch TV, I watch live sports, and I watch news on live, right? Everything else
Right.
is on demand, movies, TV shows, whatever. And I think that people will still always get their live sports and they'll always get their news on the radio if they don't get it on TV, because they need to know what's going on right now. And it's just one of those things. For anything entertainment purposes, I think it's going to be more on demand type stuff, podcasts, and but
See, I think I have this thing where I think everything happens in these cycles, right? And I think what's going to happen is kind of like now you have all these fucking streaming apps, like, oh, you got Tubi, you have Netflix, you have Hulu, and then eventually everyone's going to get sick of all this shit and go, oh, it's only, you know what? I'm just going to go fucking back to cable.
It's true.
Right? And this, I think the same thing will, I don't know when, but will eventually happen with radio. Oh, fuck. It's like Spotify. All these I got to stream to all these goddamn podcasts, right? Fuck it. I'm just going to listen to the goddamn radio. It's going to come right back in a circle. Everything.
Yeah.
And then eventually go back to podcasts. I think there will be.
Yeah. You might be right.
That makes sense. The back and forth is always with forms of media, right? Because it's, you got to get your media in different ways. I mean, I listen to everything, TV, radio, podcasts, digital. I mean, you have to be up with that, because you never know where the news is coming from.
And you get college kids these days collecting records. Like they're like going to the record store and buying records. It's like,
I know, right? That's coming back now.
Something that the audio is like,
I also realized with podcasting, like what I kind of like would fight with my boss at, not fight, because he was actually always open-minded. He would always like listen to my suggestions. It was the other DJs that weren't loving the suggestions because they were so used to the formula, the hustle, this is how we did it. And so I think with podcasting now with Chanel in the City, I have more freedom. I don't have to run it by anyone. Yeah. I mean, I don't advise that for everyone. If someone's dream is to be just on radio and they could take, constructive criticism and they can do what the boss wants them to do, great. But I think that's where we differed. I wanted to do certain, I wanted to bring certain celebrities that people weren't talking about as much, that were breaking news stories that the radio didn't even care to feature. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't this something you should feature? Like, you know what I mean? Like I would fight for stories that now I get on Chanel in the City. I can push the press on it. I can make it matter. I can try as best as I can to bring attention with my followers about it,
Yeah.
Oh,
that
for
kind
sure.
of stuff.
Yeah. And it's definitely a way to branch out and definitely attract more people. And especially, being on demand, social network and stuff like that, you can actually get what you want to do. And it's a little more, I feel like a little more accessible, especially coast to coast, rather than if you listen to FM or any radio aspect and you're only really focused on whatever, network they were in, but I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen?
Who knows? I mean, we're trying it out. We're learning as we go.
Yeah. And like, the next generation of kids are going to come out and be like, I really like AM radio. Something about the sounds, something about the low quality bandwidth of the sound is really gets me. You know what I mean?
Like, I really like the CB.
Yeah, the CB radio and AM
like
radio will be the thing of the 2030s. Everyone's going to be buying CB radios and AM radios. It's going to be great. And people like us will be like, oh, we already know. We're getting that stuff. Really, no problem at all. We got this.
I do have one random question since we're getting towards the end of the show here. I feel like I want to ask this at the end of every show now, just randomly at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Chanel, if you could go into a Blockbuster Video right now, what movie would you rent?
Oh, great question.
Could be anything.
Does it have to be something I haven't watched or just anything?
Anything.
Yeah.
Even if I've watched it a million times?
Doesn't matter. It could be a favorite. It could be a curiosity thing.
Because you remember how cool it was to go to rent a movie and
I'm a movie dork, so that's my thing.
Same.
So,
okay, I just have this nostalgia of like Scream. Scream is one of my favorite movies, the original first one. I love it. I feel like you have to go to Blockbuster. It's like, or any video store, because Blockbuster's out right now. It's just like classic to rent Scream. I remember going to the video stores back in the day, renting that movie, like having that great feeling and the, goosebumps where you're like, and the director's Wes Craven, right?
Yes, that was the first movie I ever snuck into, actually. And the new one's coming out in January. I don't know how I feel about it.
Let's sneak in. Let's go to the movies and sneak in.
Well, they're coming out with too. I should come. You know what? I should make a trip to Boston. We should go to the movies together.
Yeah, in January.
When
Scream 5
I should do that. We should all hang out and go to.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
I love road tripping.
I'll bring
my
already
had to go see Scream 5.
Yeah. What a great excuse to come back. I'm like, boys, I'm here. And we could go see the.
I have my Phillips head screwdriver. We'll pop the door in the back of the movie theater in Danvers. We'll sneak in. We'll see
that. We'll go see it.
Great. It'll be like old school times. You know what I mean? The people are like, you guys sneak in? I'm like, no, we paid. What are you talking about? We're adults. We're sneaking into the movies.
That would be great though. Yeah.
That would be fun. We got it. Let's plan that. I'm down.
I would
I'll
fucking
come
love it.
for-
You can go to my channel and leave a comment. I'll get in contact with you. We could
Yes.
we set that up for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Chanel, thanks for coming with us. Where can we get it? Tell us where anyone can listen to you and
Oh, sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. You guys are really cool guys. I wish you were in New York. The fucking guys here, they could learn something from you. Just kidding, guys. But you can follow me at Chanel Omari on all social media platforms. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, my Facebook fan page, Chanel in the City. I answer all DMs there. You can listen to the podcast Chanel in the City on iHeartRadio, on the iHeartRadio app, wherever you get your iHeartRadio stations, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, all podcast platforms. And you can listen to me on this fabulous podcast, The Arty 84 Show, with your boys, Arty, DJ Arty, and Adam, your boy who gets stalked every day, every night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We're about to make a rap. We're about to make a rap. If you guys come to New York, listen, it's dangerous. These girls will eat you up. Okay. But yeah.
That's right. We have a good time.
Oh, and check out my stand-up. You guys got to come also. You know, maybe when I come out there for a week in Boston, we do the movies. I'll do a comedy show out there, and you guys can either see me there, or when you're in New York, you can see my stand-up at Broadway Comedy Club. We do a live Chanel in the City presents the All-Star Comedy Show, where we had the Housewives of every franchise there. We have celebrities come in. We have a lot of celebrity comics on the dope lineup. Mark Norman, we had Cedric the Entertainer. We've had Tommy Davidson. So there's a bunch, I want you guys to come. Well, I'll treat you VIP. It'd be cool. Check it out.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it, actually. Yeah. Let's do it.
Bring your wife, bring your kids, bring your girlfriend, bring your stalkers.
There you go. Bring the stalkers, of course. There you go. Well, Chanel, thank you very much for joining.
All right, Chanel. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you, guys. Send me the clips. I'll promote them.
For sure. All right. Awesome.
Okay, bye.
Omari, everyone. The Arty 84 show.
That was really good. She was oh my God. Way better than I anticipated. She was really cool.
Hey, Adam, that always seems to be the way, right?
I love it. I love it. Those are the
mystery of
moments
the
I
show.
love being proven wrong. I love it. She was awesome to talk to. And we have a Scream 5 date. Look at that.
And we're gonna sneak into the theater. We gotta break in. We gotta do something.
I don't want to kick that because I actually really want to see it.
Well, let's steal something. Maybe we'll steal the bottle of booze. We sneak into the theater with us. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
It's like, what's that movie? It was like that episode of Seinfeld where they were like doing something. The guy's like, I get it. Oh, we're not stealing it. And he's like, no, but I gotta steal something. So he stole the battery for it. You know what I mean? So we can do
I've
that.
been in those positions.
Chanel Omari. So once New York City becomes normal again, we should go there. Because they're a little not.
I feel like we have
in
a
a
lot
weird
of reasons
time right
to
now.
go there. I feel there's a lot of reasons for us to go there. We keep
I keep sending our demo to radio stations in New York, thinking we'll get picked up sometime. So every once in a while,
we're close. We're supposed to have DJ Goya. Have you talked to what happened to him?
That was what the hell was that?
It was Jersey.
Was it Jersey?
Yeah, because I remember I'm the one who took the call. Remember, and you were sending him tapes. He's in Jersey, like very close to where my brother is.
Yeah.
You stopped doing that, huh?
Well, I kept sending stuff, and then at one point I started sending stuff, and it was getting like returned to sended.
Huh.
So I figured something bad happened.
Maybe they went.
And I didn't want to ask any questions. Maybe they just blocked us. I don't know. Who knows? We should have sent your brother to go find out. I wish I remembered that when we had your brother on a few weeks ago. Like I'd be like, hey, can you go track down DJ Goya Bean? See what he's up to.
DJ Goya.
I do think we'd be very good in New York if we could only just get the opportunity. You know what I mean?
I think so.
Because like she said, New Yorkers love our accents. Then Eric would be like, "Oh, don't forget about me." I wasn't.
Oh no, he'd be afraid to get murdered. He'd be afraid to get murdered. He wouldn't come. Aren't we supposed to go in February? Aren't we supposed to take a road trip?
Yes. No. Yeah. For sure. For a hockey game. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that still happening?
Yeah, I think so. I'm down for it. When I'm not driving our boss's car down to Florida, I could figure out. That's going to be on the clock though. So that's going to be. I just told Sue today. I was like, yeah. By the way, I might be gone for a few days in January. She's like, why? Where you going? I'm like, I was half joking but half serious talking to Joe while driving this car down to Florida. And then like as the weeks have gone on, it's been like week 3 now. It's like I'm probably going to be driving this car down to Florida. So. And then probably drafting for 5 hours at night and driving to no sleep, just driving down like
Well, he's secretly getting frustrated because he wants us to chip away at November.
I overheard. I was listening, but pretending I wasn't listening because George was telling me something today. So,
yeah, because he got rid of the other people.
Yeah.
So just us. So
who's next? Gonna take a sabbatical for 2 months. Nice. And we have a company party tomorrow at the office. That's gonna be interesting. It could be really interesting. It could be really dull. So it's gonna be one or the other. It's gonna be two extremes. I don't think it's gonna be in the middle. To be honest with you.
We'll see.
But all right, sir. How's the whirlwind going?
Good. Just not really. Just chipping away at my next video, editing it. Like I said, it's already all been filmed. I just have to keep editing, and
you get it in the can, as they say. It's all in the can.
It's all in the can. Yeah.
Which is a
real. And then I'm drafting another one that I actually think is going to be more interesting. I don't know if anybody will watch it. I think it's one of those ones that's going to grow more over time. But it's just like, are movies going to die? Because like we kind of mentioned earlier, attention spans. Are people going to be in the future willing to sit through an hour and a half, 2 hours to watch a movie because our attention spans are getting lower, and that's scary.
It's funny you said that because I have a friend who does a lot of short movies, and we talked about it a few times on the show. And I liked the 25-minute movie, and I think all right. I'm torn. I could watch Casino, which is 2.5 hours long, and not be bored. But it's a really good movie that has a lot of information, right?
You got to know what you're doing. Like Spacey.
Right, exactly. And I think he lost it a little bit with The Irishman. I think that was a little too long because it lost me a little bit. And I thought I thought there was a lot of stuff that could have been cut out of that to make it still. But like Goodfellas, Casino, I could watch those movies no problem at all. Even Godfather, I could watch that. Long ass movies. But I think the magic number for a comedy is like 80 minutes, maybe 90 minutes.
Oh, a comedy for sure. Right? Yeah, a comedy should be no more than an hour and a half.
A short film, a 25-minute short film, I could be invested into it and be very invested into it.
Yeah.
It could be the magic number because most sitcoms are 25 minutes long, right? 20 to 25 minutes long, which is our attention span, I think. I think it takes a magical director to be able to make you stay longer than that, which Scorsese does pretty well.
It's only going to get harder.
But or the Coen brothers do it as well. But did the Coen brothers turn to the Coen sisters? Was this a true story?
No, you're thinking the Wachowski brothers. They turned to the Wachowski sisters.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, they both went through sex changes. We'll talk about the Matrix and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the Matrix. That's right. Yeah.
The new Matrix movie.
Talk about that next week. But thank God the Coen brothers didn't turn to the Coen sisters because they make good movies. They maybe still made good movies as girls too, but who knows? Maybe a little bit different perspective. But
who knows?
I think I'm gonna watch The Big Lebowski after this. So
go for it, buddy.
My night tonight. All right, sir. Well, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Toodaloo, motherfuckers. Bye. All right, and we'll see you later, Facebook. Bye.